Good morning, Ekoji, and welcome to our Sunday morning service. My name is Pilar, and I will be your service chair today. We are grateful for your presence. Today's service is being live streamed on Zoom and YouTube. If you are new to Ekoji, you will find in the back of each seat pocket this laminated guide, which will help you through the service and answer many questions you may have regarding the service order, as well as the history and the essentials of Shin Buddhism. Our main priority is keeping our Sangha a safe place to hear the Dharma. Although we are very happy to see one another, please be mindful of each other's comfort levels and please keep your masks on at all times. Thank you for your understanding. On the Naijin today is our resident minister, Reverend Nariaki Hayashi. Joining Reverend Hayashi is Certified Assistant Bob Shimokachi. Today is a Shotsuki Sunday, where we take the opportunity to remember our loved ones who have gone before us. If you have lost a loved one during a previous month of June, you are welcome during the chanting of the Jisei to come forward and perform Oshoko in their memory. Now it is time for meditation and recitation of the Nembutsu.
Meditation provides a pause that prepares our mind to see the Dharma. Please place your hands on your lap. Lower your head slightly. Close your eyes and release tension for meditation.
Please find the laminated sheet in your service book. We will now sing the Vandana Tisarana, the three refuges. Please rise. Please be seated. Please turn to page 29 in your service book. We will now chant the Sambujo.
Yeah.
turn to page 39 in your service book. We will now chant. Today, the Dharma message will be given by Reverend Hayashi.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome all to our Sunday Dharma service. So, in all things, there's a foundation. Basic to everything in this world is the foundation. This is true, for example, like in mathematics. Without memorizing the sequence of numbers, no calculations are possible. We naturally, add and subtract without remembering how we once had to learn the sequence of numbers first. Another example from everyday life is how we, sign checks, papers, and other things. We write our names without remembering how once we had to learn our alphabets. And foundation is essential. It's also essential in construction. If the foundation of the building is not solid, the building would quickly sink into the ground unevenly, resulting in cracks and damage to the buildings. The foundation will keep the building even and support it even during a flood or earthquake. So the foundation is essential in all sorts of things. And this is true of Buddhism as well. One of the foundational aspects of Buddhism is humility, being humble. Shakyamuni Buddha said, "Don't be impressed by money, followers, degrees, and titles. Be impressed by kindness, integrity, generosity, and humility." In fact, we increasingly have been seeing and hearing, the word humility and its value in our everyday lives. For example, many fields has many sayings about humility. For example, the Scottish novelist James Barrie once said, "Life is a long lesson in humility." So too, the Japanese entrepreneur Kazuo Inamori said, "Be humble and avoid arrogance." Lastly, the American television producer Ted Turner, who is also known as the founder of CNN News, said, "If I only had a little humility, I'd be perfect." So in this way, humility is a concept embraced worldwide. However, it seems that there are many different ways of interpreting, this concept of humility. And I want to share two different interpretations of humility, one in English and one in Japanese. So according to the Oxford English Dictionary, humility is defined as the quality of not thinking that you are better than other people. The quality of not thinking that you are better than other people. Now in Japanese, the word humility is translated as the word kenkyo, but there are multiple definitions, such as to see your existence as comparatively lower, removing oneself from situations that draw attention, or accept others' opinion or ideas as your own. So these are the translation of humility in Japanese. So you can say that the word humility in English is directed towards, the self. It's inward directed towards the self, whereas it is directed outwards to others in the case of humility in Japanese. So English, it's inwards directed, in Japanese, outward directed. So even when we are talking about one word, the same word, our understanding of it is different. To give an example of humility in English, I want to use a story of Rick Barry's experience with Shaq O'Neal. I believe many of you know about Rick Barry, who was the NBA free throw champion. And Shaq O'Neal is notorious for not being able to shoot free throws. And Rick was once asked to teach Shaq O'Neal on how he did it. And Rick, he does the granny throw, right? He holds the ball with both hands. He bends over and puts the ball in between his legs, and then he throws it, right, with his both hands. This means the ball ran very softly, so almost always the ball will go in. But the problem was that it looked ridiculous. This is kind of the normal way of shooting, but he did, the granny throw. And Shaq tried it, and it actually worked for him, but he refused to use it because of how it looks. I think Shaq is an example of someone who is too proud, and Rick, by contrast, is a real good example of a humble person. He is, after all, the free throw champion, but they didn't care how he looked to others. So humility is inwardly directed for him. Conversely, humility in Japanese, as I said, it's outwardly directed towards others. An example is when you answer phone calls at work. I was working, before becoming a Buddhist minister, I was working as a salesman. But in Japan, when you receive a call from a different company asking the availability of someone in your company who has a certain position, like a manager or chief, they would usually ask, is Chief such and such available? Like, is Chief Hayashi available, or is Manager Hayashi available? So they would not only say the person's name to whom they want to talk to, but also the title of their position. And people do this in Japan to show their respect towards the person who they are calling. But then, when you respond to the caller, you will ignore the title of the position of your chief or manager and respond, I'm sorry, Hayashi is not available. I'm sorry, Hayashi is currently in a meeting. This doesn't mean that you have a lack of respect towards your chief or manager, but by deprecating their position, you are letting the person who is calling take priority. So you're putting the caller first and your company second. The same is true when you go to a restaurant in Japan. There's a Japanese expression, the customer is always right. This may seem as a unusual expression, but in Japan, the workers treat the customers as if they are more important than themselves. Therefore, humility in Japanese is outwards directed towards others. In this way, humility in English and humility in Japanese is understood to have opposite differences. But when you think on a deeper level, they actually have both aspects within them. For example, in the case of Rick Barry, his personal record was more important than how others would think about the way he throws. But after all, he's doing this for his team to win and also for his fans. So his humility is also directing outwards towards his team and his fans. And in the case of how you answer phone calls in Japan, you may deprecate your boss to let the person who is calling take priority. But after all, you are doing this to consolidate your company's reputation and also your own reputation as well. So this action is also directed inward towards your company and yourself. After all are people, right? Regardless of the differences of language, culture, gender, nationality, background, people are people. And this is what Buddhism acknowledges. So instead of seeking one side or the other, I think it is important that we seek both inwardly directed towards self and outwardly directed towards others. That is to say, the truth of humility lies in where they are in balance. Please join me in Gassho. By reciting the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu, we are reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful, and we are reminded of the teaching of Buddha in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. On this occasion of Shotsuki, let us do a reading. Please open to 21. We'll read the white ashes together. So I will start off, so please join in. Page 21. Please join in. In silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of man. Thus, we have not heard of human life lasting for 10,000 years. Life swiftly passes, and who among man can maintain his form for even 100 years? Whether I go before others or others go before me, whether it be today or whether it be tomorrow, who is to know? Those who leave before us are as countless and as fragile as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may be white ashes. When the winds of impermanence blow, our eyes are closed forever, and when the last breath leaves us, our face loses its color. Though loved ones gather and lament, everything is of no avail. The body is then sent into an open field and vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. There is nothing more real than this truth of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and old, and therefore we must one and all turn to the teaching of the Buddha and awaken to the ultimate source of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we shall come to fully appreciate the meaning of this life, which is unrepeatable and thus to be treasured above all else. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexcelled of human existence, and let us live with the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu in our hearts. Namo.
Now it is time for the ritual of Oshoko, the burning of incense. This is a time to quietly contemplate and reflect on the impermanence of life. Oshoko involves drawing incense from a shared bowl, and we understand that individual comfort levels may differ. We offer this option to those who are comfortable doing so, but note that this ritual is not required. We invite you to come forward to the front table, offer gasho, and should you wish, place any dana, which is our offering of gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, in the bowl on the table. To gasho is to place our palms together through the circle of beads, hananenju, and is an expression of gratitude. By doing this, we welcome into ourselves the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. If you are new and would like to participate but feel unsure about the steps involved, a Sangha member wearing an okesa will be available in the rear of the hondo to accompany you and walk you through the process. Please approach mindfully, and once finished, please return to your seats via the side aisles, where we have placed hand sanitizer on both the left and the right. Reverend Hayashi will now lead us in closing meditation and recitation of the Nembutsu. Now it is time for our Sangha announcements. Our Dharma discussion group will meet immediately after the service. To participate, simply pull up a chair around the computer or stay on the Zoom line. On Saturday, June 25th at 10 a.m., we've scheduled our Obon stage assembly. Strong people with tools are needed to help set up for our festival. On Sunday, June 26th and July the 3rd at 1 p.m. are our Obon dance rehearsals. If you are interested in learning the dances, please join us at Ekoji for these practices. We will also be recording the session for those who would like to practice at home. Also on Sunday, June the 26th at 2 p.m., the Buddhist movie discussion group will meet to discuss the documentary Wheel of Time, which is free on Tubi. Check your email for the link to the Ekoji Zoom room. On Saturday, July the 9th is Obon. We need a minimum of 100 volunteers. Please check your email for the link to the sign-up page. We also have a QR code posted in the foyer that you can scan with your smartphone, and that will take you straight to the registration page. Also in the foyer, we have sign-up sheets for donations to the Ekoji Dessert Hall. There are also recipes out there for those of you that would like to contribute by baking and bringing desserts for the dessert hall. Memory candles can also be ordered online for the July 9th garden service. The link is in your email. If you have lost a loved one in the past year, additional information about our Hatsubon candles can also be found on the website. And this year's Obon we will have tickets for admission to this year's Obon, as attendance will be limited. So please do visit the website to pre-order your tickets for Obon.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.